loves, welcome back again to our channel. I'm your host Elomo. If you're seeing my face for the first time, hi, I'm called Elomo. Make sure you subscribe before heading out, okay? Because this is the channel, the one-stop channel. You're definitely going to love it here. So in today's video, you're going to get ready with me. I'm about doing my makeup to film a video, and I'm just like, you know what, there is something in my heart that has just been in my heart for a couple of days. I'm just like, you know what, why don't we just talk about it informally? Like, I don't want to make a whole video, sit down and make it so serious. So I'm just like, you know what, let's just chat about it while I'm doing my makeup. So what I've been thinking about these past days is just why the sudden increase of scamming in Cameroon. We all know that scamming has gone from like year to like year in Cameroon. Of recent, like when I say of recent, like maybe say 4 years, 5 years now, scamming has just gone to another level in Cameroon. So we're just going to be talking about that, like what caused that massive increase, as in without wasting much of your time, let's get right into this makeup. And now, family members, scamming in Cameroon is now like a norm. It is acceptable. Like, it's no longer a big deal. If you're a scammer in Cameroon now, it's like you have a legit job, as in people don't look at you one way again like everybody does. They now look at it like, oh, everybody does it, so there's nothing again there. So like scamming now is like a legit profession. You understand? It's like a common acceptable norm in the society now in Cameroon. There is this trend that is happening in Cameroon now where all scammers are getting married. Like I don't know where that is from, but scammers are fond of like hopping on trends, reigning trends, and that is the trend now. As in, if you're a scammer, you have not gotten married, it's like you're not doing well for yourself. And I don't have a problem with them getting married. What I have a problem is with the people I have a problem with is the girls they are getting married to. Like, how do you accept to marry a scammer? That's where I have a problem. I always look at the weddings happening every now and then, like, how do you accept to marry a scammer? How do you accept to marry somebody who cannot feed you unless he steals from another person? Does that make sense? To me, I see it like, oh, the girls, they are the ones who have a problem. Like, the scammers will really know they have a problem, but you knowing that that's what he does for a living and you're willing to tie your destiny to that, there is a problem with you, sis. There is a problem. I just feel like there is a problem with a girl who actually, now this is not a video of me trying to castigate scammers and say, oh, they are the worst people ever lived on earth, or they don't have anything good to offer. No, this is not about their person. This is about the act of scamming. It's not about their person. Scammers outside scamming, I know people who are very good human beings, like they are good people outside the fact that they scam, right? But this is just the act of scamming, you understand? So it's not like they are bad people or they don't deserve love from a girl or they don't deserve to be loved. Of course they do, but my point is, this is like, it's like a major deal breaker, right? And you're going to enter marriage into, you're going to get married, or you're tying your destiny with something as serious as that. That's gross to me. Cameroon is now on the map of scamming, one of the top countries in Africa that are up there when it comes to scamming. And I'm just like, God, how did we even get here? How did we get here? Like, after Nigeria, Ghana, Cameroon is scamming. Like, how did you get to top 3? Like, where did time fly? Like, we all knew that, oh, Nigerians are the people who are very smart like that, but now Cameroon is on that list, and I'm like, this is not good. It is not good for the country's reputation. Please, all these boys, people should calm down. You people are spoiling our country's reputation. And let's talk about the reasons why these guys even go into scamming in the first place, right? What are the possible reasons why you think the rate of scamming has increased now in Cameroon? For me, my first reason, I think why these guys are now scamming like so much in Cameroon, is peer pressure. That's the first thing. Like, peer pressure. Everybody wants to belong practically. You don't want to see your friend driving a Benz and you cannot afford the Benz and you know how to get the Benz. So peer pressure for me is the first thing why scamming has increased in Cameroon. Peer pressure. When you see your friends, like your age mate, you're calling your age mate grand. When you start calling your age mate grand, you know that there is something happened. There is something not adding up, and you definitely don't want that. Guys definitely have their male ego and all that stuff. So peer pressure is the first thing. That's why they'll now think of, oh, if my friend can be doing this thing and is making so much money and I'm calling him grand, then why should I not do it as well? Why am I suffering? Why am I, all that stuff? So to me, peer pressure is the first thing. Please leave it down in the comment section what you think is the first reason why guys now scam so much in this our generation. And the next thing for me is social media. Social media is doing it. Like, social media has a very huge role to play on why these guys are now scamming so much. Since the coming of social media and everybody's active on social media, everybody has a voice, people can see. People have just taken it to another level. That's how now scamming has just gone to another level. Social media, when you see people living the life of social media, going to the clubs, popping champagnes and all that stuff, you definitely want to do it as well. So you will find yourself scamming. So my next reason will be lack of patience. Oh my God, this generation will actually lack patience. No matter how we put it, no matter how we try to sugarcoat it, we actually lack patience of seed time and harvest. We don't know that principle. Like, nobody wants to take time to plant and wait for you to harvest. No, everybody just wants fast money, as in now money. That's what everybody wants. So this generation, we lack the patience to actually have the principles of money. Yes, because money doesn't just fall on your laps one day, one random day, and money falls on your laps. No, that's not the case. That's what this generation is lacking. I even did a video on this channel talking about my boyfriend used juju on me, and that was a scammer. Like, a scammer using witchcraft on a girl, like using a girl's destiny to make money. Like, it's crazy. That's how desperate they are for money. Like, they want fast money. They can do anything to have that fast money. So you, a girl dating a scammer, you should be careful. You should be very, very careful, because they are ready to do anything for the fast money which they want. So lack of patience as well is another reason why they scam, because scamming is fast, quick money gotten without hard work. Laziness. Yes, laziness is another reason, because they don't want to work again. They don't want to work. Nobody wants to do, like, guys now don't want to do the menial jobs, or they don't even if not the menial jobs, like, they'll tell you they want to be self-employed, but that's what they do to be self-employed, scamming. And I'm just like, wow. Wow dear, how do you say you're self-employed, you're a scammer, and you say you're, I don't know, like, it's crazy. It's really, really crazy how they are all just rushing to have wealth. They have not understood the principles of wealth. Nobody wants to take time to read up on the principles of wealth, how to make wealth, how to maintain it, how to multiply the wealth. Nobody wants to take time to read it. Everybody just wants, like, oh, this is a fast route, so why not? Why would I not use this fast route and get the money than waiting on something that I'm not even sure yet and it's going to take years and years. So laziness and lack of patience is definitely a reason why these guys are now involving so much into this business. I think, like, scamming is now in the business, because everybody now, I mean, guess, man, it's so okay for them to say it, that I mean, guess, man, like, what are you going to do about it? And so now, after identifying what actually causes this scamming, what do you think? What are the possible solutions that you think that could be put in place to reduce the level of scamming nowadays? Because if at this our generation it is already like this, I'm afraid of the coming generation. Like, what will our children's generation look like? Like, what would they look like? Because if now it is becoming a norm, then our children's generation, I fear for my children. Like, of course my child is not going to scam, god forbid. I'm going to bring up my child in the way of the Lord, so that he shall not depart from it. Okay, yes, I speak that to myself every day. My child shall not be a victim of scamming and shall not scam another person. Okay, but thinking of the other people, right? The other people, when the Bible says 10,000 shall fall dead beside you and none shall harm you and all that stuff. Yes, you are safe, but what happens to the other people around you? Like, what happens to the other people who are not so fortunate or so blessed enough not to be in that pot of soup? You understand? So I'm just like, if in this our generation now, these guys are taking it like this to this level, what's going to happen in our kids' generation? So what do you think could be done to reduce the level of scamming in the future generation, or even now, like it's happening now? So what do you think could be done to reduce it now? What are the possible solutions? Because the government says they have put in place anti-scamming bodies that you report cases to, and they follow it up for you, and they say it's free of charge. I think there is a number. Even I'm going to find that number and put it in the screen. If I can find that number, I'm going to put it on the screen. There is a number that you call if you're being scammed, or if you suspect somebody. They say it's free, you don't need credit. You call them here in Cameroon, right? You call them and you give them the details, and they follow up the scammer for you. Eventually he gets caught and put behind bars, but we don't know how successful that is. Like, their success rate, I for one, I don't know how successful it is, but they said they have caught a couple of people through that, but I really do not know how successful it is. But that's one of the ways the government is trying to fight against scamming. So what other ways do you think that the government can do? What other things do you think government can do to eradicate or to reduce? Because you can never eradicate scamming completely. You can only reduce it. You can only do as much as you can to reduce it, but you can never eradicate it. I'm going to move over to drawing my brows now. I think I'm going to leave talking a little bit, concentrate on brows fast, and continue later. Scammers have made a lot of things lose value here in Cameroon because of how they run their own things, how they do their own things. For example, this trend of them getting married, like every 24-year-old boy is making a very lavish, luxurious wedding, and they have even scammers have even made people, that saying of before that used to say, oh, the man gets to 30 years but he's ripe for marriage, or before he starts thinking of settling down, that's the right age for a man to settle down. Scammers now, they have changed the narrative. Okay, you don't need to be 30 years before you start thinking of marriage. Now you see a 25-year-old boy, he's tying the knot with his beautiful 24-year-old bride, and you're like, okay. Where were our parents when people were doing all this stuff? Now scammers have changed that narrative. Okay, now marriage is no longer something so valuable as we used to see it before. Like, if you see that this person is a married man or is a married woman, you used to look at them with so much respect. Let me say it like that, for lack of better words. We used to respect married married people in the society, because we felt like they had some degree of integrity, some degree of honor that comes with it. But now you're even seeing somebody who they tell you the person is married, you're like, I even look more responsible than this person. But again, it is what it is, right? They have made people lose the value of marriage. It's now like everybody can pick a ring down the street. You go down the street and you get your ring. And another thing which scammers have made people lose value for bush fallers. People have lost the value of bush fallers. In before prior to now, people used to look at bush fallers with so much regard. Like, we used to actually, let me not say we used to carry them up like bush fallers. When bush fallers are in the country, you know that this person, you used to carry them up because you know that it's only bush fallers that could give you a certain amount of money without them really feeling it like that, because of exchange rate and all that stuff, because you know they are coming into the country with so much money. But now scammers have made bush fallers have lost their value. A bush faller is even coming to the country and nobody has the time. Like, everybody will prefer to go and hang out with a scammer than to hang out with a bush faller, because scammers will give you much more money than the bush fallers will give you. It's so funny. It's so funny how before people used to hold on to bush fallers and beg them, please, when you're coming, bring me a phone, please, when you're coming, bring me this. But now scammers can pay for that phone complete money in the space of seconds, hundreds of thousands. And when you're asking a bush faller for something, they start telling you how it works in their country. Oh, they have to pay for the phone gradually, money is not easy there, they start giving you all those excuses and all those long talks on how things work in their country, why they cannot give you what you're asking for or something like that. But these are our Yahoo boys. They will enter a shop and ask for the latest iPhone and pay cash like no man's business. Now, because they pay for things cash and they pay for it like it's no man's business, they have equally made life difficult for people living in towns where it's full of scammers. Like, standards of living in towns like Boya is so high. You don't know why the standards of living is rising, but because you have those guys there, everything is expensive. What you normally get for a lesser price in other towns, if you go to Boya, that's not the case. And even if they put it to a particular amount, they know that the guys will still afford it. They will still pay for it. Like, phones are expensive, are way expensive there. Everything, even to rent a house there, is way expensive. Because why? The scammers will pay for it. Now, no scammer wants to stay in room situation happening in Boya. Everybody wants to stay in an apartment, in a studio, in a lavished house. So whatever rent they place on it, they're going to pay. And they all have cars, so they want to pay. They want to stay in houses where parking for them is secured and all that stuff. These scammers have made people lose value for money, especially young girls in Boya. They have lost the value of money. If you give a girl now 50k, she's going to look at it like, what have you done that Napoleon left undone? 50k, I mean, your friends are giving people hundreds of thousands. Now, these are for people who want that life, who are living that life. It's not like it works for everybody. Of course, nothing can work for everybody. But for people who are living that life and who are easily influenced, people who don't have strong willpower, people who just go with the flow of whatsoever community they find themselves in, they are the people who suffer from these kinds of things. So you will see a girl now, she doesn't even know how to work for the money, but she calls you amounts that you yourself, you're like, okay, sis, I'm giving you this, and you cannot even appreciate it. All what you can say is, oh, the money is small, other people are giving other people more than that. And at first, I used to be the kind of person who will make excuses for them a lot. I used to make excuses for them like, oh my god, the country is difficult, that's why they are doing what they are doing. It's not because they love it. If they have a choice, they are not going to do it, blah blah blah. That was just me just trying to be nice and just doing what I usually do, making excuses for people. But I've come to realize that everything is a choice, right? Everybody has a choice. There is nothing like I don't have a choice, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Everything you do it out of a choice. You take the decision, the conscious decision to do it, because there are other people who are in this country and things are really difficult for them. They don't even have, like, they are really struggling to eat, but still yet they do not get involved into scamming. So anybody who gets involved into scamming with the notion of, oh, things are hard in the country, of course things are hard in the country, everybody knows, but there are people who are fighting it and are trying to survive legitly without getting involved into scamming. So that excuse is not valid enough, it's not reason enough for you to get involved into scamming. Now, this is not me judging them, because scammers are usually very, very defensive. They always have a very defensive approach towards everything. They'll be like, oh, sin is sin, you will stop, who does not do it and you will commit other sins, we're both the same, we're both going to hell fire, blah blah blah. Oh, we're taking back from the white people what they took from our forefathers. So we're just taking back what rightfully belongs to us. And in my head I'm like, yes, they took from your forefathers, but is that the way you should take back what rightfully belongs to you? Is that the right way for you to take it back? I mean, and people have been taking it and taking it and taking it. Is it not enough? But whatever the case, they always have a very strong argument to put up when you try to talk to them about the whole scamming stuff. They always have something very concrete and reasonable enough to say that if your head is not in the right space, you can start thinking like, oh, this thing is actually a very good investment, good business, good something. You're not doing anything wrong, you're just doing what ought to be done. That's the way they pitch it. That's the way they pitch scamming to you, and you can fall for that kind of trash. Now, I do know of girls who have said categorically said outright that they want to date only scammers, and in my head I'm like, how can you say that? It's different if you start dating this guy and you have no idea that he's a scammer, and you discover later on that you guys are really in the relationship, like he's a scammer, you're really falling in love. Okay, what can you do? So you are just going to go with the flow. Or the case where you guys start dating and he just starts scamming, but only after you guys start dating. That's different. I can understand that. Like, in that kind of scenario, I know that, okay, you had really started loving him. Or the situation where you meet the guy and you don't know what he does for a living, only after you start loving him, which is rare, that's when you get to discover that, okay, he's a scammer. In that kind of scenario, I can understand. But the case where a young girl who has 2 hands, 2 legs, a brain, everything working right, categorically says, I don't want to date any other guy except a scammer. In my head, I'm like, okay, sister, what's your reason for saying you don't want to date any other guy except scammers? So that because, oh, they have money, they know how to spend. And in my head, I'm like, if a girl can outrightly say, I want to date just scammers, or I want to date only scammers, whatever the case, I feel like there's something fundamentally wrong with you. Your brain, your mindset, your everything. We have to reset you, because this is like it's beyond just saying it. If you can say it and you're serious about you wanting to date just scammers, there is a problem with you, sister. There is a problem with you. Why would you think that you want to date scammers because they have money, they will give you money? What is happening to you? What is wrong with you? Why can you not make your own money? It's a case of we need to just address the whole mindset. So guys, I'm done now. I'm just going to go ahead to set my whole face. So this is the final look, and we have come to the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed this random chit chat with me, just discussing about what is happening in our society nowadays. Hopefully it was entertaining for you. If you haven't subscribed at this point, please, what the hell are you waiting for? Please make sure you subscribe. Hit that notification bell by the subscribe button. It's definitely free of charge. It doesn't cost you a thing, and you're going to get notified each time I post a new video. Okay, so having said that, hopefully you loved this video, and give it a thumbs up. Share this video, okay? Share this video with your friends, and I'm definitely going to see you by the grace of God on my next one. Okay, bye.